to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Jay Donovan.
Aaron Cook.
And me, Todd Novak. Welcome, one and all, to another delicious episode of the Guitar Knobs podcast.
Delish.
I feel like that should add like a sound effect after it.
Kind of hungry, actually, now that you mention.
Why?
That's why I had a Snickers before we came on here.
I was not wise enough.
Yeah, you're kind of a Snickers. You
it's on your
Snickers
face
a lot.
Yeah, there's still like Snickers on your face.
Is there?
No.
No.
Sorry, I should have kept that going. My bad. Hey, I hope everyone who's listening is having an awesome day or night, whatever, morning.
Midday.
We had an excellent episode from our last one, 17. That was our interview with Hank Donovan from Rattlesnake Cables. And if you haven't heard it, I encourage you to go back and listen. We learned a ton about cables. And that was a long one.
It was a long one.
So
very insightful, a lot of aha moments.
Yeah, it was great. But that was the longest one we've done.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost, could have been 2 episodes. But, so this one we decided, hey, you know what? We're going to have a little bit more fun. Like, just, kick back a little bit. We got some interesting things to discuss, but we will not be doing the hour-and-a-half episode like before. I mean, wait, maybe it will.
You never know.
Probably not.
Let's just see how this
We are down one
unfolds.
knob who is playing hooky today. I have no idea where he is. But that's okay. We will soldier on. And
whatever.
See
Whatever,
what happens.
Fischer.
Yeah, F that guy anyways.
Freaking Fischer. Okay. Big J Donovan, what is going on in the world today with you?
What's going on with me? I'm still recovering from playing a gig over a week ago.
Why are you still recovering from that? Explain.
Because I'm
Just like
old.
your fingers?
You're still hungover?
I'm still hungover from it. No, I've been thinking about it a lot, and gotta get after playing a live gig for the first time in like, I don't know, over 2 years. I think I was like, that felt pretty good.
Yeah.
I gotta.
And you were just out.
It was just
you were out of the loop for a while because you went back to get a master's, pretty much, right?
Yes.
It's not that you weren't capable. I mean, you're a very capable bass player.
I just didn't have time to gig much. Like weekends were completely saturated with like reading, studying.
Oh man,
lame.
Yeah,
that is lame.
That is so not rock and roll, right? That is like the opposite of rock and roll. So anyway, the bug. I felt the bite of the bug again. I'm like, man, like my brain's
sounds
turning.
Like a Wasp song or something.
The bite of the bug.
I don't know. I feel like Blackie Laws is gonna bust through the door right now. Okay.
So the wheels are turning in my head. Is basically always. That's
and
kind of
you're
what's
down
new.
some gear right now because you were kind of at a point where you're like, you know what, I got to get rid of my stuff. I got to pay for some school stuff.
Yep.
So you're looking at getting some new gear. I can see in your
Be
eyeballs.
reborn. Yeah, with a bunch
You're
of
gonna
new.
get a brand new EBO.
And we're gonna the mud.
You should get the Court Curbo. The one with
or the Court.
It's like the little
Gene
tiny
Simmons.
body is like super tiny.
Yeah,
teeny.
with the surgical rubber strings. I don't.
Let's say no. But we'll come back to this because we're going to talk about some stuff where I might,
Yeah. Our main topic.
Yeah,
That's foreshadowing. That's what they call it in the business.
We need like an effect. Can we like post effect? Foreshadowing, shadowing.
That's Then you just did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Hey,
the good thing is that I think that is something to keep in mind for everybody. Sometimes it can be tough if you are like out of the game for a while, or if you feel rusty, you feel like I haven't trying to get back. Anybody who's played live, I'm not gonna say most people who have played live know that it is an incredible rush. It is a fantastic feeling. Even if there's like 2 people standing in front of you at a club, it's still great. few people get to do that. I know that arguably there's there's millions of bands and stuff. But if you think about yourself as a musician, think about your circle of friends. How many other people play live? Not that
small
many.
Fraction.
Right?
Right.
I mean, even if you're like well connected in the scene, that is still a much smaller percentage of people than the most you're associated with. So to be reminded of that, like once you get a little taste of that, not doing it is really it leaves that empty, woeful feeling in your tummy.
The only thing I will say,
not for you.
I honestly, I don't miss gigging.
Yeah,
I really don't.
well, because usually it was like, hey, we've got this Tuesday night slot at 12 a.m. and it's like, and you're like, I gotta be up in like 5 hours.
Yeah, but there's something.
But,
I mean, the exhilaration of like plugging in and going, all right, I am completely vulnerable, but I'm going to freaking rock hard right here. Like that's great.
Loose.
That's awesome. I like that.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it felt really good. Like, even I was borrowing Fischer's bass. Like you pointed out, I don't have any gear, and they're like, hey, can you play this gig? And I'm like, yeah, it's backline. So I'm like, okay, borrowed Fischer's, cheapo, that Squire.
Did it make you
and
sad that you had to sell all your gear, like recently?
Well, yeah. I mean, like,
but did you get rid of like gear that you're like, gosh, why did I get rid of that?
a little.
Or were you like, you know what, that was old gear. I can upgrade now that I have a master's.
Let me say this: I didn't dislike the.
You're a master basser now.
The P bass, nor that Mesa Boogie walkabout. That amp, I really dug that amp. It was underpowered though. Like the tone of it, I love it. I was like, this is amazing. But it was only 300 watts. It never really could. It couldn't carry like a medium gig. So I was kind of, while I loved the tone, I was like, I need something.
Right.
Something a little bigger.
Mucho macho.
See.
Machu Picchu.
See.
Yeah. Okay,
right,
I get you. Why do you have a headache? Why are you rubbing your head? Are you rubbing your head at me?
Because you guys are weird.
He's like, that was kind of like the Picard.
Captain Picard.
Yeah.
You kinda you do
meme.
look like Captain Picard a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, thanks,
It's okay.
man.
I mean, that's right.
That's a compliment, right?
Is it?
No.
I mean, not for a 22-year-old, but anyways.
All right.
Go ahead. What's going on, Aaron?
Not a whole lot.
Feed the machine, baby. You bastard. You do this to me every time.
I love the awkward silence and then the facial expressions that Todd makes. No, I mean, honestly, just about to post a new song as being done, recorded, and mastered, and all that fun stuff.
So
you had a preview.
Lying.
You had a preview of it.
Yeah.
But I had to do some tweaking before I called it a real thing. So
Yeah, it was solid.
What was it? Like, what style was it?
Reggae.
That's cool.
Then ska punk.
Yeah.
It kind of goes in between both.
But
It's
not
more.
so
It was
much in between
it's definitely
reggae.
more reggae. than ska.
There's no reggae in that. What are you talking about?
What is wrong with you?
The one that you just sent me?
Yes.
It's not a shred of raga. No, man, it was like skate punk ska.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge of this.
Yeah.
Send it to me. I'll make the decision.
We need to like call a proper reggae star. Hey man, is this reggae?
Well, it's funny because it's a song that I had written back in 2007, and it's another one that I've dusted off, and I just wanted to put a new coat of paint on it, so I completely redid it. And the first version was not.
What does that mean?
What?
I was like, yeah, put a new coat. Wait, what?
So it's like I originally did it in GarageBand. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in producing it. This time around, it's like I I retracked everything, and then really spent time on the mix and the master and things like that. And what happens is it's a new year, so it's like certain things sort of evolved. So it's not like rewriting the song, but certain tweaks happen here or there to make it kind of a little bit of a newer thing. So the first time around it was intended to be more reggae, but it was not even close to reggae. Unlike the new version, you liar. Todd, I'm looking at Todd.
What's it called? What's the name of it?
Velvet Over the Fist.
What? I'm trying. It's a visual.
It's so Spinal Tappy.
Like smell the glove.
Smell the glove. Yeah.
But it's just
so. Anyways,
aside from what you called it,
this time now,
it sounds great. It's a very good song.
The new coat of paint is that it's a lot more reggae, and it is.
All right,
and so
it's like,
I will definitely share it with you.
What about so if anybody actually wants to hear this,
why don't we play it somewhere, and we'll get it. You guys tell us if it's.
Maybe we can outro
reggae.
with it, like just a little tail end outro. I'm not going to put you on the spot with that, but
actually, I think I'm able if I play it.
No, not playing it now.
I think it
don't.
Yeah.
No self-promotion in the middle.
It's done.
Gangsta.
I gave a 5-second clip right there.
Oh, you bastard.
All right, so you guys let us know reggae or something else.
Yeah, or if you want to hear you want the link to the SoundCloud.
I'll put it on our Facebook.
Okay, there you go.
All right. So what's new with you?
Oh man. Last night so in preparation for an upcoming interview, which I'm super, super excited about, I was testing a 61 reissue, a Les Paul tribute, Gibson SG, up against an Epiphone TV Silver 6 Special Edition. And it was really interesting to hear the differences between the two. I mean, if you put them, I've got some pictures, and they'll be posted once we do the episode. But the little differences started to add up quite a bit, and I'm not saying better or worse, just literally just different. The reissue tribute that I had a push-pull vibrola or trem on it. Not a vibrola, a vibrato. Had a push-pull
Great
trem, yeah. I mean, they're interchangeable. So,
are they?
Yeah. And it had non-factory pickups in it, and that's what I was testing. The Epiphone SG had factory pickups, but also had push-pull pots. So you could drop them into, like a single pickup configuration. And anyways, it was really interesting. And so I got to SG rock out all night, which is a different kind of rocking out. Like, at least me personally, I feel like you can't really sling an SG super low. It just, there's something not right about it. I'm not saying people don't do it or shouldn't. Just me personally.
I think that's like
slung low.
Are you guys insane?
No.
Dude, it's like
think
the
about
rocking
Angus
guitar.
Young. He plays it way up here.
But because he's like really short.
No, not because he's really short.
If it was any lower, it would.
No, you sling a Les Paul low. No, you guys are nuts. Bass players, shut it.
I don't know.
The rest of you guys out there can confirm this.
I hope they eat you alive.
No way. Show me one person. Honestly,
I'm looking.
If you can find, I want to see a picture of an actual somebody.
Kim Thale.
No, man, he doesn't sling it way low.
Bet he does.
I know he doesn't. That guy taught me how to play. He doesn't know it,
And those are
but he taught
guilds,
me
I
how to
think.
play, and he does play a guild, by the way. SG body style, but yeah, he plays it. He plays it like at normal position. He's not way up high, but he's not way low either.
All right, Billy Gibbons playing one slung low. Boom.
Okay, Billy Gibbons.
He can do whatever he wants, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, people know what I mean. It has to do a lot to do with the balance of the guitar too, because
Frank
a lot
Zappa
of cases
is playing it high.
Yeah, a lot of cases the neck is a lot heavier than the body. Now, if you get an older one with a thinner neck, the balance on those is absolutely perfect. So I played a 62 SG that is not a reissue, like it's a proper 62, and I put that on, and it was absolutely balanced perfectly. The right angle on the neck, the headstock wasn't forcing it to the ground.
Okay.
Now my Epiphone SG has a boat oar for a neck, so if I let go of that thing, I gotta make sure it doesn't hit the ground, which is one of the reasons that, like, if you sling it low, you're gonna break the headstock.
Yeah.
You know. So, anyways, SGs are kind of interesting that way, and I personally don't like playing guitars like way up high. It's just not as comfortable for me. I'm also not a shredder kind of guy, so it was just interesting. It was different. It's not how I normally play guitar, so I was doing that with two guitars, and the difference between the widths of the neck was really interesting to go back and forth, and I recorded them and their output and all that stuff. So we'll talk about that in an upcoming what?
Width or depth?
Width or depth? What?
You just said width of the fretboards.
I'm sorry, depth.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that I have right now is like a proper C. It's like it's a capital C. That is the SG anniversary. I think it's anniversary special edition anniversary.
Farouk Assault plays it
TV
slung
silver.
low.
Of course they do.
I didn't say nobody, by the way. I said for the most part.
I was joking.
Anyways, so that's what I was doing, and that was tons of fun. And it is all set up for an upcoming episode, which we are super excited about.
I don't know. I have a picture here of Kim Thale. That's
let me see.
Pretty low.
I'm telling you, dude. No. I'm talking low. Like no, that's not super low. He's playing it. He's playing it at waist height.
It's below waist.
No,
that's difficult.
You're insane.
All right.
He doesn't play it way up high. He doesn't play it way up high, but it's not. I mean, when we're talking about slung low, I'm talking about like below the waistline, where like the body of the guitar is like on pretty much starting on your at least on your thigh.
On your quadriceps.
Yes.
Sep.
Yeah.
Quadricep.
Like the first Les Paul I had.
Let's look it up.
I had to actually tie a shoestring to the end of my strap because it wouldn't go low enough.
Yeah.
No, you were right. It's the second time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Jeff, what do you got this week?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Womp. Guess you're not here, sucker. See, this is the when I wish we could like reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, somebody who's out there listening live or whatever. What's up with your
This is a podcast, not radio.
Well, I know, and I know that there is a handful of podcasts that are doing like the live, either Facebook Live.
Oh yeah.
Or I know that the Guitar Nerds is doing Ampli.fi, and I'm kind of tracking how that's going.
Interesting.
I don't know that that's right for us, but I'm curious to see. I hope they have success. It's a great podcast if you are interested in listening to other ones.
Yeah, it'd be bad for us because all the times you look at me like, stop recording.
I don't do that because you don't edit it.
Well,
we don't do any edits for that.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty like what rolls.
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyhow,
So we could do it. Let's do it.
I don't know. They're having a lot of
We could do an
technical
experiment.
issues.
We'll talk
and
about
stuff.
this.
There's technical issues, and then there's also like I don't know. Anyways, I think personally, they do get both a podcast and the live version out of that one, which is cool. It's not hurting their content. They've got a really great show. Anyways, let's move on to our main topic, and then we have a very exciting, very titillating.
You used that word last time.
I didn't use titillating.
Yes, you did.
No.
No, actually, I heard that in a meeting.
Yeah.
It's another meeting.
I
The minds.
hang my titillation slung low. Something. Yeah, we got a really fun top 4. We had fun choosing how we're going to do it. But anyways, okay, so what we want to discuss right now is just, I think part of being a guitar player or enthusiast, or whatever you want to call yourself, musician, etc., is that if you're standing still, you're kind of not growing. The pursuit of gear and knowledge is something that is inherent, I think, to most people, regardless of whatever hobby you have or passion or whatever. The more you know, the more your world is expanded to things that will influence that new knowledge, right? The more you learn about sound, the more you want to go like, oh, maybe I should expand my pickup range. The more you learn about, specific kinds of woods or necks, like, oh, I've been playing this one neck this whole time. There's different kinds of necks. Oh my gosh. So I think doing that, and then also, honing your actual craft as a player, that's just part of playing guitar. It's unless you're not playing at all, you're probably moving forward in some way, and you're probably encountering points in which you're like, hey, I've kind of plateaued in certain ways. So how do I grow? How do I expand my musical repertoire?
Or you just pull a Jeff Fischer and give up.
Not show
Oh, if
up.
only he was here to defend himself.
I know. I'm going to eat him alive on this episode because he's not here.
So with that, I posed the question to the other knobs. What 3 things do you hope to either learn or acquire or advance yourself in your playing over the next several months?
Playing?
Yeah, playing, not playing
that's
like PLAIN or PLANE.
Plain.
Great Plain?
Yeah, like playing So,
Playing your what?
with that, I'm looking at Aaron.
No, you're not. You're looking at Jay.
That was a trick. Jay.
Oh, I have to
Jay.
go? Oh.
Yeah.
Do it, Jay.
So let me say this. When this question was originally posed, it was, what do you want to accomplish or acquire?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I just said.
It could be a skill you acquire,
Sure.
but it could be gear you acquire.
Yes.
That's why the whole playing thing threw me off.
That's why.
Yeah.
Why would that throw you off?
Because,
That would be accomplishing something in some way. It's open-ended.
okay.
So anyway, I looked at this from per what we were talking about a little bit earlier, I don't have any gear, and so I do need to acquire some things.
You still have your
the upright
crappy bass, your crappy upright bass.
and Jeff's crappy electric that maybe I won't give it back to him. Maybe I'll just
Hey, you
keep
can
it.
borrow Stinky anytime you want. As soon as
I'd
the
rather
person who claims he hates it gives it back to me.
I'd rather give up music than play your stinky bass.
That is a great bass. All right, whatever.
All right. Anyway,
Whatever.
so I need some gear, and one of the things that I need to do is I need to do a lot of research, right? Because my goal this time is a little different. I want to get the most portable yet best rig, and what I'm saying is what I mean by that is I don't want. Sure, I could just go the total portable route and get like, I don't know, what are those, like Mark bass? They're like 500 watts, but they don't. That's not what I want. I want to
like Jeff's amp is even smaller than that. That's like the size of a flipping Ethernet hub.
His is pretty. It's pretty small. That's kind of where I'm headed. Like,
Massive output.
I don't think that his head. I also borrowed. I basically borrowed everything from Jeff to play his gig and rehearse and practice for it. That's not the head that I want. So I want to find the smallest, easiest to carry that still has the widest range. And so I need to do a lot of homework on that because there's a lot of decisions, and when you're dumping some cash into that.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, as he's talking about this, if anybody has any suggestions that they like to throw up on the Facebook group, please do so, or in Twitter or wherever else.
Because I've been kind of looking at this Mesa Boogie Subway. It's this Subway D800.
Is that because you like Mesa Boogie?
I love Mesa Boogie.
Yeah.
And it's pretty small, and it's like one of their simul state or whatever they call it. It's solid state with tube preamps, stuff like that. So that's one thing I'm kind of looking
at.
What's it called? Subway D800.
The Subway D800.
Yeah.
By Mesa Boogie.
It looks just like my old Walkabout when it comes out of the
Walkabout. What a terrible word.
Sweetwater.
Subway D800. D800.
Yeah.
Okay.
That thing's pretty small.
Yeah. But maybe it's not. I need to go play one. They're kind of hard to find. There's not a dealer around
how
here.
Minimal and cool it is.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's where I'm kind of leaning, but that might not be it. So I need to do some more research. So that's one thing I need to do. Another thing I started thinking about this after our last podcast, is I do need an overdrive pedal. I'm going to recant a little bit. Remember how I said last week, I'm like, you don't need any effects.
Yeah.
Because,
I knew that was horse crap.
Because, no. Typically, I don't. But the one effect that sometimes I will use is an overdrive. Like I said, I used to use that. The Sovtech was kind of a fuzz, but I need something to push it for at times. And so I'll recant just slightly and say, if I were going to have one, I need an overdrive pedal.
All right.
And then the third thing I was thinking about, I used to have this thing called a hip shot bass extender.
Yep.
Have you ever seen this before?
Enlighten me.
It's a machine head that lets you have two tunings for string.
Yeah,
you can get multiples of them, and I've seen some crazy basses where you can switch them around.
Oh, that's kind of like the
drop D.
Like the Van Halen little gizmo down there at the right down there.
So a long time ago, I had that and used it to tune to D or sometimes tune to B. When I had that, I had a 4-string. Later, I went and got a 5-string, but now I don't ever want to. And the 5-string, when it got stolen, I was like, I'm never going to have a 5-string again. It was kind of the thing to have.
You have smaller hands like Donald Trump. Is that?
My hands are huge. No.
Is that problematic?
No.
I mean, this is a legit question. I'm not. Well, I'm kind of poking fun, but I'm not mostly.
No, you are definitely poking fun. But that's okay.
But I do want to know, like, is a 5-string just like that much harder to play for someone who maybe doesn't have like Stanley Clark
stunted
fingers?
No, I don't know. It was never a playing thing. I don't know. I just don't want one anymore.
Why?
Because I feel like
demand answers.
I don't want to offend anyone, but I feel like I'm like.
Ooh.
I'm offended.
I don't think they're cool anymore.
That's a pretty subjective, all-encompassing, generally offensive statement.
I just
in your effort to not offend anyone, you picked the single avenue that could do that with the most ease.
I'm saying for me, I just don't. I went through a phase where I was like, when I was like,
it's not cool for you.
It's not cool for me, is what I was saying. Like I don't, and
oh yeah, nice.
I used to use it to cheat a lot too. You can do scale, you can do scales a lot differently with, on different places on the fretboard. And I just I don't know. I don't want one anymore.
Okay.
But sometimes I need that. I do some old songs where I need another tuning. And so
there with you.
What I did for this last gig, I had to play a bunch of songs that I used to play on a 5-string. I had to just have 2 basses, and I tuned one 4-string to like I borrowed somebody else's crappy bass. It was like a
BEAD. Is that what you did?
Yeah, so I tuned one to BEAD, and then the other one was normal tuning. But if I got this little hip shot, what I used to do was to play some of those songs, I just flipped down to B, and then I had a couple of...
So that's awesome. That's 3 things that you mentioned, all of which you can't play without a bass guitar, which you don't have.
Right. So I guess
that
maybe should be on there too.
Yeah.
I do need a new bass. Or I'm keeping Jeff's forever, remember?
Let's say you're not keeping Jeff's forever, and for whatever reason you don't want to...
Well, I need 2 basses, and I already told you about that a long time ago.
Yeah. Why don't you re-up and tell us? What
Mustang.
Are you thinking... Yeah, have you changed your mind based on playing other people's basses?
Maybe.
Okay.
The jazz... So I used to have a Mexican jazz bass, and it was my backup. I liked the P better for some reason. But after playing Jeff's, and even though his is a Squier and a terrible...
Dude, that thing is really well made.
And those... They get a better rep these days.
Yeah.
The neck... I liked the neck a lot.
Yeah.
It was like easy. It was easier to play. It was easy to play fast.
Yeah.
And so the Mustang, I'm not sure it would be.
Have you played a Mustang? Just out of curiosity, because I'm guilty of saying I want that thing, and having never played it at all, and then I get it and I'm like, that was a stupid thing I wanted.
Once.
It's
been a long time. I should probably do some more.
It doesn't have this the stripes on it, does it?
No, that's not the one I.
All right.
But I don't think it could be the only bass I have.
You can never only have just one.
No, there cannot be only one.
Okay.
All right, so those are the 3 things.
Ooh.
4 things. I got an extra one.
Yeah. What color?
That was a Sith.
What color Mustang are you looking at?
Sort of approach to life.
Well, we had this argument when I called it the wrong color. So I don't want to answer that. I'm afraid you'll make fun of me again.
Is it periwinkle or something?
No. I'd said red.
Yeah.
I said the candy
apple red.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that discussion.
Why would I have? I don't think I did. I think you're making that
racing
up.
Red. You said, I don't know. You
just didn't get it, Todd.
I'm pretty sure.
Don't make fun. No, the red one. I want a red bass, man. If I got Fischer's a Sunburst, and I'm not really digging Sunburst. His jazz bass knockoff. But I'd get a black one.
So looks like they come in 2 pickup configs. I'm seeing one with sort of like the P style. Little tiny guys, but then there's a couple with wide range pickup, like a single wide range pickup.
That might just be a case over it. I don't know. I can't.
Cheese? Anyways. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of them.
That's kind of cool. All right. I get you. That does have the stripes, though, but as long as, yeah.
I really like that, except for the stripes.
Yeah. Well, Jay, thank you so much for sharing all your hopes and dreams of this. Thank you. Aaron, what's going on, man?
Well, see, I was all up in arms about playing because a lot of my goals have not much to do with playing.
We can fix that.
But modding is something I really want to start doing more of.
All
so
right.
the first thing is
like skank or
what? No, not that kind of modding. I don't want to be a mod.
Modeling? Wait, what? You're gonna be a model?
No, absolutely not. First thing I need to learn how to do is solder.
Yes.
So, I think there's something coming up.
It's a good thing there's something coming up for that.
Yeah, that is going to be...
I'm so excited about that. Oh my gosh, I can't even stand it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it will be.
Okay, cool. So you want to dig into electronics. That kind of... We were talking about this at lunch,
yeah.
which, hey, surprise, that's why we're doing this. I was mentioning that... the sound In between the two guitars that I was testing, I wondered if it had anything to do with maybe some of the actual electronics and not just the pickups. And then he was like, well, that's just whenever my head bought. So, anyways, carry on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's like, even starting to look into different pickups for my guitars. Because I mean, it's like the guitars that I have, they're not like awesome guitars.
Wait, do you mean awesome guitars by the world standards, or you
Yes.
don't think they're awesome and you don't care about them?
Well, so for example, I love them. I mean, they're dear to me. But it's like, I have an Epiphone Flying V that I love.
Awesome.
Two-tone, of course. Black and white.
Yeah.
Naturally. But it's like...
For the reggae.
For the rock. For the chicks.
Anyways.
So it's not like that those come with great pickups. My Gibson, my Les Paul Jr., I wouldn't mod that thing because, P90, you don't need anything else.
Right.
I also have a Mexican Strat that...
well, you wouldn't be able to put anything in that anyways without rerouting it.
Right. But even then, it's
that's a dog ear pickup, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, that's the sort of stuff I need to...
So you got the stuff, you just got to get the technicals about it.
Yes. So, yeah, there's some reading that needs to happen there. The next thing is, I've talked about this before in previous episodes.
That is a dog ear, by the way.
Okay. I'm glad. Glad we found that out. Wait a minute. What were you looking at?
No, hang on. I'm pulling yours up. So, yeah, see how it's got the little tabs on the side?
No, that's not the one that I have. Mine's not like that.
Yeah, it is. I worked on it. Anyways, continue.
I've lost my train of thought now. So the next thing is actually, I've mentioned it before.
What would you do to your Flying V? I'm just curious, because, that's...
Wait, what
unless
year
you're...
is it?
I bought that thing in 2007.
So the pickups are probably on the slightly hotter side?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
But, funny, hotter, but still the overall sound is much smoother than my Les Paul Jr.
Yeah,
it's so...
Double humbuckers.
Yeah. So, can I get on to my second thing now?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. For God's sakes, yes, please.
It's actually also building or using the hands related is I'm going to start building some sound boxes to dampen the sound in my basement.
Right. Mention that.
So, yeah.
That's what your biscuit joiner's for.
I have the biscuit joiner, I have the router, I have everything that I need, except for the supplies now at this point. So, Jeff and I have talked about, how he designed his.
Yeah.
So he sketched it out for me, but it's like, I might do something a little bit different just to be a little bit different. But, I want to do that by the end of the year.
Okay.
The last thing is, I have also mentioned this in previous episodes. I am finally going to break down and buy some.
Am I the only person that when I hear the word, I hear certain words. When you hear like the word breakdown, right? All I can hear is Tom Petty in my head.
I was going communication breakdown.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. Anyways, I have an absolute. I think it's a blessing. Sometimes it's a curse. There are certain keywords that, like, if I trigger, boom, song, boom. Anyways,
there's nothing.
I'm sure other people have that out there, but
yeah.
But it's also curious. I wish we could actually see the thought bubbles above us. So if you said breakdown and mine was like
Tom Petty.
You could just watch the TV in your mind as someone's talking to you. It would be horrifying.
It would be. It would be horrifying.
It would be an abomination.
It really is, like, and it never stops. It never stops in my head. Please go on.
I'm going to actually buy some kind of guitar rig plug-in for my recordings.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. I've talked about it and danced around it long enough. And
a guitar rig.
So, I mean, it could be Amplitube. Jeff, I forget, what's he talk about? He's got S-Gear, Scuffle.
Okay. So, some
yeah, I mean,
software.
it's like, yeah, I want to invest in some more
so you get like
options.
Really good guitar modeling sounds or something like that?
Yeah. I feel a little limited with what comes out of the box with Logic and GarageBand. So, yeah.
Well, right on, man. Those are solid.
It's terribly exciting stuff. How about you, Todd?
Me?
Yeah. Oh.
Moi?
Didn't see you sitting there.
Yeah. So I have mentioned before, I would say I'm a hack. I've been playing an awful long time, but I had learned totally by ear. I play by ear. I write by ear. Obviously with 2 tribute bands and an original, there's the tributes. You have to look at stuff, but
meaning like what, tabs?
Yeah, tabs.
Okay.
and music, and I don't have the time and energy to say I'm going to learn like full on, like start from the ground up and learn proper theory or anything like that. I may, but I'm kind of backing into saying, all right, I need to get way better at scales, not to be a shredder, but just to be able to put things together better. I want to get much better dexterity. Most of the kind of music that I've played has lent itself to not needing said dexterity, just more strength. And that's something that I really want to, I'm putting that on myself. So when I was mentioning that music post the other day, like there's a reason for that. Like I'm whenever I'm playing now, I kind of divide my time to like, I'm going to spend about half the time learning something new or doing an exercise. And then the other half just playing. Yeah. Right. Just going for it. So that's my number one thing.
Is scales.
Yeah. Well, how would we it's not just scales. I mean, it's like learning new chords, learning how to do better connections. And so it's some of the math, I guess, behind playing. I've done an awful lot with not having to do that. And the kind of music that I feel like I'm starting to write a little bit more now or get into is requiring more of me to do that. Yeah. So I have.
So is it from?
I've got the gear I need. I've got the space I need. There's no reason for me not to do that.
Is it technique or is it the creation process?
No, it's technique. The creation process, like I'm not really struggling with that. It's kind of like I think it's very much like if you have a great story in your head, but don't know enough of the English language, so you're misusing words, or you're being too verbose, or you're not having enough words in there. The difference between when you're reading a story and you're like, I know this is a good story, but it's not very well put together, versus somebody who is very good at writing and has the story in there. I feel like I'm holding myself back by not expanding on that knowledge.
Right. You feel like you've gone as far as you can go?
Yeah, I feel like I'm that little bit of plateau there. And I had my next door neighbor, her dad is a very accomplished jazz guitar player. Crazy nice guy. And he came over one day. And he's like, "Hey, let's go. Let's see your guitars. Let's go play guitars." And he grabbed I've got a Godin archtop that I use for the Johnny Cash tribute stuff.
Black one, right?
Yeah, black one's freaking beautiful. I love that thing. And he picked it up, and I was so in awe of his ability to put things together that just sounded new to me. And I mean, I listen to a lot of different kinds of music, so hearing new things is kind of, I don't hear a lot of new things. Yeah. And I was hearing all kinds of new things, and that's kind of like when I touched on that George Harrison part, like we were asked about hearing Tom Petty saying he knows all the scale, all the chords. Well, that's one thing, but being able to put them together is where Petty was kind of talking about. Like, he knows them all, so he can fluently and with ease create interesting ways of stringing them together.
So it is part of the creation process.
I mean, I guess so, but it's not directly. Creation process is helped as a result of your expanded knowledge of either technique.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's kind of like anything you do. If you are a designer, you have to learn software. If you're focused on learning the software, your design isn't going to be very good. Mm-hmm. It's not until you have that sort of subconscious level of like, your part of your brain is like, I got an autopilot. I know exactly everything I'm doing. So the other part of your brain can focus on, well, what is it gonna be?
Yeah.
And right now I'm a little off balance with that, and I want to up that.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said dig.
Oh, I thought you said dude.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
Random dude.
I thought he said dig.
Yeah, that's what I said.
What? Anyways. So that was. I mean, that's a long-winded number one.
Yeah. That's all right. I was probing you on that one a little bit.
And then...
Yeah. Spaceship alien type probe.
Oh, so got all dirty in here real quick. The other thing is that I'm hoping to build a new cabinet rig that we've kind of mentioned before.
We're all building stuff.
We're all building stuff. But I want to make it... interchangeable, so it'll be a 2x12, a full range speaker on one side, and a standard selection like greenback or something on the other side. Being able to switch back and forth depending on what gig I need, so I don't need to have two different cabinets. But we'll see if that works out.
Got it.
I see. So yeah, it's still one.
Yeah, because I think I want the full range for use with the archtop, which is for the cash stuff and anything else that I play along those lines. I feel a regular kind of Celestion type speaker is a little flat. It doesn't have sort of that extra depth to it that full range might provide.
Yeah,
we're gonna test it out. It's not in stone.
See what happens.
The other thing that I want to do is get way the heck more pedals. But I don't want to just acquire them. I've got 3 that I really want to build. So that is something on the agenda. And fortunately enough, we have something coming that will help us along with that.
Lots of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm stocked up on guitars right now, so I feel like I got to work on the rest of the other stuff. So, but there's always room for more guitars.
Always.
So if I see one that I got to have, then it's time. Anyways, let's move on to our top 4. Oh wait, Jeff, what did you? Oh, psych.
This one's a little bit of a different top 4, right?
It is kind of a top 4.
Interesting to me, though.
I mean, this is more of a collaborative top 4.
Well, no.
We each get to pick.
Oh.
But we collaborated in the design of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of just Todd doing everything.
Yeah. I mean, I still wrote them all down.
Well, I'm glad you did, because I would have...
Okay, so what our top 4 is this week is... it's kind of
It's a little out there.
It is, but it's fun. I mean, I think this lends itself to a lot of other things. It's a lot of times we talk about, what's the thing we really want or gotta have, and those are all based on criteria that we say that is valuable to us in some way. Anytime you go to a guitar shop, especially I think in the used guitar area, there's always or Craigslist too. Like there's always like this thing you see and you're like, I mean, maybe, but all of the things in your head are going like, no, dude, no, right? But they're legit. They are out there. They've been around. They are quality, but for some reason they're just a bit polarizing. So, in the spirit of a popular game that you might play if you're slightly inebriated
in California with coworkers,
which we shouldn't say the title of it, but we can say two of the words. Kill or marry, and insert your other one. We decided, like, well, what if we kind of did that one?
Insert your other one.
Okay.
Wow. That kind of does it.
Wow.
I'm trying to stay on iTunes.
You didn't even mean to do that.
So we picked 4 basses because I'm outnumbered today. And so we picked 4 basses. And don't worry, anybody who's a guitar player, you don't have to turn off right now because you know what these are. You've seen them. We are all very familiar. These 4 basses are, as I said, they've been around for a long time. They are very well made, and they are, usually relatively pricey, but nonetheless polarizing. So our mission was to pick, if we had to have one.
Define polarizing for all the drummers out there in the audience.
Hey, yo!
Just kidding. I love drummers.
Yeah, the drummers haven't found us yet.
No. They can't find people.
So, yeah, polarizing, or anybody who doesn't know what polarizing means, just basically means it is something that, think of any topic where people take 2 radically opposite stances on something. You love it or you hate it, right? So the 4 that we chose, and coming up with this list was a heck of a lot of fun, I must say. The 4 we chose in no particular order.
We're going to say what they are before we even pick them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, dude. God.
We are going to choose the Danelectro Longhorn, the Steinberg.
You've said enough.
No neck. No head.
No head.
I thought we had the name of that one, but you know what we're talking about. The all black, no headstock bass. Tiny body. Minister of Information is going to get us that exact spec right now.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to that. The Hofner Viola style bass. And this one was way out there, but it's definitely legit. The BC Rich Bitch 8-string bass.
Yeah.
These are all basses. Okay, once again.
It's Steinberger, by the way.
Yeah. What did I say?
I thought you said Steinberg.
Yeah. Yes. So the Danelectro Longhorn, the Steinberger
L series.
I think
it's the L series.
He thinks it's the L series. Yeah.
We'll go
the
with
Hofner
that.
Viola and the BC Rich Bitch 8-string bass. Now, just for those who are driving and can't access the internet right here, to give a little bit of color around this, the Danelectro Longhorn, it has very long, extended, and curved horns that are symmetrical on a very round style body with a very slim neck and a very slim headstock, and usually accompanied by 2 lipstick pickups, I believe.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Often having a colored burst So not a typical tobacco burst or sunburst, but like blue
Green
on pearl or something like that. And then the Steinberger base is black, small, solid body. What am I trying to say?
Tuning pegs.
The tuning pegs are in the rear.
Yeah.
And they extend beyond the actual body. And it is a very slim style.
What am I doing?
Right, changing the Steinberg. And then the Hofner viola, famously played by
The governor.
Sir Governor McCarthy.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, you gotta go on.
I got to go on?
Keep going.
I will go on. I must go on.
My heart
You knew
will
it
go
wasn't
on.
McCarthy.
Yeah,
So
I knew it
was
wasn't.
like, I know you know that.
Yeah.
I know that you know that you know.
To be
I know
clear.
you know. Okay. Just want to make sure.
To be clear, the Hofner viola, played by
Is it viola or violin?
Sir. Is it the viola or the viola?
Viola.
Viola. I'd say viola. Sir Paul
McCarthy.
McCartney. My mouth was not working. Give me a break.
Violin bass.
Violin bass. We all know what we're talking about here.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says at Hofner.com.
Oh, well.
All right, the violin bass.
500/1 violin bass.
Okay. Moving forward, the BC Rich bitch 8-string is an asymmetrical body neck through with tuning pegs on the cutaway of the lower portion of the body as well as up at the neck, and has
Or the headstock. So there's
total-
four
yeah
tuners.
4 tuners in the headstock,
Headstock.
4 tuners back at the cutaway of the lower portion of the body. There are a total of 5 actual knobs, 1 selector switch, and 6 toggles on the BC Rich Bitch BC Rich Bitch 8. See, I can't talk right now. I'm tired. Anyways, so when we looked at this lineup, we're like, wow, we would probably all pass on every single one of these if we had to. But if we had to choose one bass to rule them all for each of us,
From this list.
what would it be? And
Which one would we walk away with?
yeah,
Okay.
I thought that was pretty clear. But I digress. Aaron,
Stop looking at Jay and saying Aaron.
is it confusing you?
No.
Okay, Aaron, do it. Give us your pick.
I don't know.
Okay, let's narrow it down.
No. I'm going to do the BC Rich Bitch.
Interesting.
Why?
Because I like to party.
Because you like.
Chicks and...
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is decked out like gold hardware, exotic wood, fancy inlay.
It just looks like it would still be somewhat fun to play.
Wow.
Where the other ones, like, no.
8-string. I'm
Here's the
confused
thing.
on how an 8-string bass would work.
They ring, man.
I get how like a 12, obviously a 12-string guitar. I have a concept of how that works, and I'm saying not how you play it, but I mean the physics of it. But a bass, it has more movement in the vibration of the strings, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out how you would have them close enough to make them work in unison, but not slap against each other.
Well,
Magic. It's wizardry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit a technique adjustment. I mean, you're not so much fingertip, maybe a little more finger pad at that
Just
point.
a tip.
It's just
Hey y'all. So
Cheap Trick.
Is this something
It's a
that
Cheap
you
Trick
would
thing.
be playing? Is this something? What?
Cheap Trick, yeah.
They played it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is it something where you could choose to have it single string, or would everything
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just saying exactly.
No, I mean that's one of the things I would probably do. So it's like if I, was told
man, it just
I'm
seems
going
like
to
it
ship
would be
you off,
real
you're going to be
big
shipped
hassle to
off
play.
to a desert island for the rest of your life, and you get to take this instrument with you.
Yep.
First thing I would do on the desert island is rip those extra strings off.
And use them to like catch fish
Well,
with
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
You
Or
probably
wild
destroy the whole
boar.
base and burn it to have a fire.
Or the Naked and Afraid cast.
I've actually not.
hunt.
You were on the island. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd just be fun to play. I
Okay,
mean, the other
I get
ones,
you.
I would hold it and be like, get this thing off of me.
Okay.
I mean, they're usually made out of mahogany. I mean, they're
That's a
good.
substantial base.
I mean, yeah, it's like one where you're kind of like, these are really good electronics, and it's like, why did they ruin this piece of mahogany?
man,
But
you have to.
it's
That's a high playing bass, I would imagine, isn't it?
No.
What? Yeah, totally is. Entwistle style, man.
Well, did you see the picture of that guy? This picture that we had, and when we were doing our research, coming up with this was
The guy on the trampoline.
yes, fan freaking tastic.
that was pretty amazing.
I encourage everyone to do a search for the BC Rich Bitch 8-string and
Just look for a dude on a
and
trampoline.
take a gander at the fella on the trampoline with his collection of them. It is spectacular. Actually, maybe we'll just put that on the Facebook
We should.
group. Okay, so that's your choice.
That's my choice.
All right. Any particular color?
Are there options?
I don't know if there are. They're kind of all
but-
natural, kind of
Well,
looking.
you can also get it black, but
Yeah.
I would go kind of what
Yeah.
we saw, the
Yeah, natural wood. All right. Minister of Information.
So I played 3 of these before.
Oh,
Whoa.
No, I owned a knockoff Hofner. It was like, I think it was Hohner, the
Yeah, right.
violin maker
Yeah.
or the harmonica maker.
Yeah.
But they made it look kind of like it.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I can't remember. But I had one of those. Played a Steinberger, like an L series that was fretless, and then of course borrowed the
How
Dan
weird
Electro.
was that?
It has the little flip out leg rest. Have you ever seen that? Like there's a little plastic flap that
Right.
folds out from so that it makes a.
Well, I'm
you
just
put it
curious.
on your leg.
Why did this bass need to be made? At what point did the guy someone say, like, you know what we need? We need to completely do away with all convention we know to work and create something that I don't get it.
I don't know. The Longhorn, which had kind of an interesting sound, I borrowed that as a backup bass for a while, but I've never played a BC Rich. I've held him in a guitar store, I think,
I think that'd be too much bass for you, dude.
the bitch.
Yeah. I think you would be its bitch. To be honest.
You're probably right, and it would not be my choice.
so what is your choice?
So I can say that the Hofner didn't dig. It was like, I don't know. I don't even know why I had it. It was one of those like, how did I get this? I don't know. I bought it for like $40 somewhere or something.
$40?
It was not.
Remember, Hohner.
Yeah,
was a
no, I
Hohner,
know.
yeah.
But, I mean, you
was-
see those come up. Okay.
It was
all right.
awful. But I'm going to say the Steinberger. So let me explain this. The bitch just you're right. It's just too much. It's just I'm looking at I found this schematic here that tells what all of the
Unless you were wearing
buttons are
like
doing.
fur or something, you couldn't do that.
It's like
you couldn't pull it off.
it's like unless I were like in the Lord of the Rings, and it was like an axe. It was a weapon. I'm trying
what
to.
I'm saying.
I think that's what it was originally designed.
That's where
right,
I'm
to be a
going with
weapon.
the
No,
fur.
that was Gene Simmons' bass.
Oh, right. That one's the one that's so sharp that you would cut yourself on the side of it if you weren't. Anyway, I'm looking at. There's like a freaking schematic here to understand how to even use it. So it's
Right.
out, and it's like I think it's stupid looking. So sorry.
Okay, so we got one vote for the BC Rich
The
bitch.
Hofner was just too. It wouldn't stay in tune. And I've read McCartney. If you listen to his old recordings, it's not always in tune. It's
You mean
like,
McCartney?
yeah. I mean, it's not.
The senator.
It sounds great how he's doing. I'm not Senator McCartney, senator from Minnesota. No, I didn't mean to say in any way that he's out of tune. Like you can just hear that sound where it's just bending. It moves. It's like a piece.
It can't handle itself.
Yeah, which in some ways is cool, but it's just not my thing. And then the Dan Electro, while I liked some of it, it's not. None of those other ones I felt like were solid.
That's why they're on here,
right?
But a Steinberger.
But let me explain.
Maybe
because I did play one, and it was pretty. Once you get to the tuning thing, like you do have to like. I forget how you. The string it has its own special strings, right? With the balls on each end, and you have to buy them, and so that was a genius on their part. It's kind of like Apple, right? We'll make something
proprietary.
That we have
Everything
to be,
about those things are proprietary. Same thing with like the Parker Flies.
Yeah, I've seen Sting play one. Geddy Lee played one. Don't get me wrong. I would never ever buy one ever under any circumstances ever, except this
you can get
scenario.
them on Craigslist for like. Well, maybe that's just the guitars, but those come up about $400 or $500.
I want to say they had
somehow they're holding their value. I'm not really sure.
I don't know, but it's like I feel like I would have technical problems with the Hofner and the Dan Electro, probably like over a period of time, and the Steinberger and the Bitch would be the most solid. But I believe that the Steinberger is the least. Like stupidest looking, of between the two. So I'm gonna. That's why.
Wow.
All right.
Sorry, I think it's the most stupid looking.
No, you're totally wrong.
Oh man.
Right, what about you?
Yeah, Todd.
I know. Is it the Longhorn? After we argued about it for.
I gotta say, I'm having trouble. I'm really having trouble. I've heard good stories for each one. You guys have made cases for them. I think because the Hofnerville is so singular to one player, that's out.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna.
You can't, it's. Senator
like
McCarthy
or nobody,
exactly.
Senator McCarthy,
exactly. Just like a jersey,
like Michael Jordan's
nobody
jersey.
else buy that.
Yeah,
that's his.
Well,
anybody that goes up and plays, the only thing I think of is like,
man, you're not as good as Senator McCarthy.
You're playing Paul's bass. It's a weird thing. So it's kind of like owning like a 5150. Which, if you're an enthusiast, if you're like, dude, Eddie is my absolute hero, and it's like you have one for that sake, the same reason which I don't think I would, but if I would buy a replica Joe Strummer Telecaster, it wouldn't be to go on stage and go like, hey, look at my Joe Strummer. It'd be like, because that's as close as I'll get to the real thing ever.
Yeah, I can see that.
So for museum purposes, I can understand that. But if you do play one and you love it, that's cool.
Yeah.
That was part of our criteria. We didn't want to do anything that was just so totally ridiculous that nobody would want it, or that we would just spend time making fun of the entire time. That said, I think I have to go with the Longhorn.
What?
I know.
Oh, no way.
I know. I have trashed it on Twitter.
After you demoralized me for even considering ever even having it in my possession.
I know.
And I don't have words.
Here's the
let's
reason.
hear the
why.
Logic behind
because I think it would provide maybe aside from the viola, the most singular, unique sounding bass.
It's definitely.
But it would have to be in an acceptable color. It couldn't be anything stupid. And I've waffled on between that and the I've toggled and waffled. I've toffled and woggled on the BC Rich, but the 8-string thing is just like bonkers to me. And like you, I'd be like, I'm going to need a course, an online course, or an old VHS course on how to actually use this thing.
Right.
And so
for that purpose,
for that purpose, plugging in the Dan Electro and just going boom. I know exactly what this is going to do.
That's like one knob or whatever.
Right.
He's like.
So, I know, but
don't even look at me. Don't even ever talk to me again.
I think it's safe to say that we wouldn't really ever have to make this choice. So, hypothetically speaking, we've all made good selections. And look, let's be honest. Like we're having fun with this, but each one of those up there is known for a reason. Those are all really quality instruments. Yeah. They're famous. Completely badass players have played all three of those. Yeah, the four of those.
Even some of the other ones we were talking about that we didn't ultimately get on this list. I mean, they're absolute. They're feats of engineering and craftsmanship. But it's just like, that's just a little too weird.
That's where the polarization comes into play. Yeah. Oh man, that was fun.
We still went an hour and 10 minutes.
Really? Just think if Jeff was here. That guy talks forever. Well, that's it for these knobs. Please join us on Facebook.com/groups/guitar knobs to share your cool guitar stuff and thoughts on our episodes. We're on Twitter.com/guitar_knobs and also on Instagram @guitarknobs. If you'd like to buy one of our Guitar Knob t-shirts, come visit us at our website, guitarknobs.podbean.com.